So before we talk about protests, or housing numbers, or councils, I need people to understand something that is far more serious. Mental health does not look the way people think it does. You can look at someone and think they're doing well. You could look at someone and think they've got their life together. You can see them laughing, smiling, joking, posting online, and getting on with their day. And behind all of that, they could be the person suffering the most. We live in a world where people only see what's on the surface. And a lot of the time, people don't see the back end of it all. Some people don't see it because their own life feels stable. Some people don't see it because they don't want to. And even good people, people with kind hearts, often don't truly understand it until they're standing in it themselves. People think they'd cope better. They think they'd handle it differently. They think they'd find a way. But all it takes is one moment. One letter through the door, one landlord decision, one health issue, one financial hit, one life event that changes everything. And suddenly, the world you knew collapses. You could pass someone every day in the shop, on the street, or online, and never realize that that person you're looking at might be laughing 1 minute and breaking down, crying the next. Crying for hours, unable to stop, with a weight on their shoulders that never lifts. Especially when someone is dealing with homelessness. Because homelessness doesn't just take your home. It takes your safety, your routine, your sense of control, your dignity, your ability to plan for tomorrow, and everything else. People in homelessness are not just struggling financially. They are mentally fighting every single day just to keep going. They cling to the smallest things, the smallest bit of kindness, the smallest sign that someone sees them. And this is something people don't realize. When you see someone thanking you repeatedly, or smiling more than you expect, or expressing gratitude for what seems like something small, it's not because they're exaggerating. It's because that small thing might be the only thing keeping them going. That might be the one moment in their day where they felt human, where they felt noticed, where they felt like they mattered. People don't realize how close some individuals are to breaking, how well mental health struggles can be hidden, how quiet people often become when they are at their worst. This is where judgment becomes dangerous. One careless comment, one dismissive word, one assumption, one ignored message, one promise that doesn't come through. That can be enough. Because when someone is already hanging on by their final thread, they don't have room for any more weight. This page exists because of that reality. It exists because there are people who are afraid to speak, afraid of being judged, afraid of being dismissed, afraid of losing what little stability they have left. There are people, mothers, families, individuals who have sent doctors' reports, mental health letters, social worker letters, counsellor letters, all saying the same thing. This person cannot cope anymore. This situation is damaging their mental health. They need help. And yet, when the root of the problem is housing and the system responsible turns a blind eye, this is how lives are being lost. Doctors can only do so much. Mental health nurses can only do so much. Counsellors can only do so much. If the cause of the crisis is housing, and housing is ignored, people are left fighting until they have nothing left to give. That is cruel. That is not right. And it should never be acceptable. We are not talking about people who never tried. We are not talking about people who didn't care. We are talking about families, mothers, fathers, people who worked, people who contributed, people who did everything they were supposed to do and still ended up here. Anyone can lose everything overnight, and it does not have to be your fault. So before you judge, before you comment, before you dismiss someone, please stop for a second and ask yourself, could this person be carrying something I can't see? Because the truth is, there are many people in County Leitrim suffering like this right now, and nobody realises it. Many of them are suffering quietly. Many of them are smiling through unbearable pain. Many of them are hanging on by their final thread. And that is the reality people do not see. And that is why awareness matters. That is why compassion matters. And that is why silence is no longer an option. I just wanted to say this because it really needs to be said. And if you are struggling in this situation right now, if you are sitting quietly, if you are barely holding it together, please don't ever be afraid to reach out. You are not weak and you are not alone. And I understand more than you will ever know. And to everyone who is not living this reality, County Leitrim needs to wake up. Leitrim needs to see what is happening behind closed doors. Mental health matters. It really matters. And right now, it is being crushed and destroyed in people who do not deserve it. People who have fought and are still fighting every single day just to keep themselves here. That is the reality, and it cannot be ignored anymore. So thank you to anyone who has stayed to the end to watch and really listen. It really means more than you will ever know. Please share this, and please, before you speak, judge or act, just take a second to think. It could matter more than you realise.